Strange.
Because Vice Mayor Strange, you'll address her properly.
You can kiss my foot.
Mr. Lincoln, you're out of order.
FBI, we are asking you to investigate this council. Please look into this council, how they award contracts, the bid process, how they use their positions to benefit their friends and themselves, how they use their positions to attack residents and critics and neighbors and business competition. FBI, will you please look into this?
And I welcome the FBI here. If you notice, Mr. Thompson, with his plea for the FBI and his watchdog group, this city runs the cleanest in this whole county. I guarantee
He was served a federal subpoena this morning.
Did receive a subpoena this morning, and we're going to cooperate 100% with the subpoena. And
most of you who were involved up here, you gaslighted me. You tried to say I was crazy. And now we know that that's not true. And there's a lot of other issues I've been asking about as well.
Well, today, the property appraiser in Bay County, Dan Sowell, he altered the document again. But this time, he altered it to the way it was about a week ago. And that is to indicate that the city does not own Popeye Park. The lot over in the low water area where the city built a playground on private property for Mayor Mike Pay-to-Play Thomas in 2019, when he was the mayor at the time, right next to his son's home so that his grandkids could have a nice place to play. I'm going to show you documents that will make your eyes pop out. There are co-conspirators involved in this issue. They talked the property appraiser, Dan Sowell, into altering the parcel summary report last week. Because last week, remember this? Don't believe me, just watch. Do you remember I showed you this document here? This is from the property appraiser's website, right here. On May 12th, there was no primary owner for that lot where they built Popeye Park. See that? And the property use code is important because that's how that property is taxed. It's residential common. You know why? Because that property is owned by all of the owners in the subdivision. I'll prove it to you. They know it, and they know I know, and now they know you know. They had to fix it. Well, the city, in its efforts to deceive and to steal property and to slander the deed, somehow they talked property appraiser Dan Sowell into some cockamamie theory that is absurd. That when the city of West Panama City Beach was absorbed by the new city of Panama City Beach, well, then the new city of Panama City Beach, it got those parks, it got those lots, those private lots. That's not the way real estate works. By the way, I've run this by a fantastic real estate attorney, and he cannot believe it. He cannot believe what the city and the property appraiser is trying to do. So then what happened? Well, a little bit later, look at there, May 21st, primary owner, city of Panama City Beach. And look at the property use code. It's government property now? Well, Dan Sowell knows that's not true. So today, it's changed back. See if it says today, City of Panama City Beach. Oh, there's no owner. We know it's in Panama City Beach, but there's no owner. What does the taxing code say? The property use residential common again. How about that? Property appraiser Dan Sowell altered the document last week, and now it's been fixed. Do you know that I sent Dan Sowell on Friday? I sent Dan Sowell a public record request. I wanted the digital log code of who changed that. I still want it, by the way, but it has been fixed. The city of Panama City Beach claims that it owns 4 lots that were created as parks. Now, when did this happen? Let me show you. This is the document. What I'm going to show you now is the document. This will tell you who owns that lot in the low water area in the Diamond Head plat. It's really a boat launching area. You say, Bernie, how do you know that? I'll show you. This is the plat. It was signed in 1962. It's one of the very first things the city of West Panama City Beach, which was established early in 1962. This is in March 28th, 1960. This is one of the first things the city did. It approved the Diamond Head plat. Who's the owner? Hearn and Coran. That's Sam B. Hearn right there. He is the owner in fee simple of the lands, of all that property. He even donated part of it to the city where they built the city hall. That was his land. He dedicated that land to the city. Now, what this means is Sam B. Hearn, that corporation, it owned a whole bunch of land over there, and it created a subdivision. His title of that land is known as fee simple. That is the highest title you can have in real estate. So Sam B. Hearn in 1962 with a fee simple title, look at the next red line, dedicates Low Water Lake as well as all the lakes and parts of lakes and parks and boat launching area as shown here on in the plat map, which is where the boat launching area is the lot that the city built the playground and called it Popeye Park. The city built over the boat launching area that is protected and dedicated to the owners of the subdivision. See, look, to and for the use and benefit of the owners of the property. Now, some people say, well, Bernie, the corporation dissolved in 1982, dummy. So now nobody knows who owns it. Wrong. The plat is like the constitution of all of that area. Whether the corporation dissolves or Mr. Hearn, who passed away, God rest his soul, in 1970, this lives on. This is the sole document that from the time it was notarized and authorized by the city of West Panama City Beach, this document governs all future conveyances of property. So who holds the deed for all the parks? The owners of the subdivision, that's who. And everybody knows it, except WMBB. I don't think WMBB knows it. They're in on it, right? You know they are. They always work with Mayor Mike Thomas. Now it's Mayor, what is it again? Oh, Money Mover Mayor Mark Sheldon. Money Mover. More on that later. But right now, let's stay focused. I can't even, if you knew what I knew, and many people do. But this is the only, there they are. They're the only ones that still think that Popeye Park, that little property, the boat launching area, belongs to the city. Only Brady Calhoun and WMBB, they were actually arguing with their readers I mean, because, because property appraiser Dan Sow had a fakakta theory. You know what real estate attorneys say when I show them the theory that Dan Sow sent me? I have it right here. I think I have it. Yeah, here it is. This is from Dan Sow to me in an email. He says, when developers dedicate parts of flats to various entities, they're relinquishing their rights to those areas largely because they don't want to be responsible. And in the plat I just showed you that was underlined, he says that the developer conveyed what is known as Popeye Park to the city of Panama City Beach as a result of West Panama City Beach being consolidated into PCB proper around 1970. That is a gross misinterpretation. And everybody knows it. And many of you who are in real estate, even you are going right now, holy Nikes, I can't believe that our property appraiser would make up such a theory. Well, he's revoked his theory and he's fixed it because it no longer, as on May 21st at the property appraiser's website, there's the parcel number, the address. And look what it says, brief tax description, Diamond Head section of the boat launching area. The city just built over the boat launching area owned by, collectively, the owners of the subdivision. They have the deed. It's in the plat. They've never conveyed that deed to anybody. The city of Panama City Beach has slandered it, and they know it. Cole Davis knows it. And moreover, by the way, here it is. There's the boat launching area. See, that right there is what is in the plat. The boat launching area. See how you could launch a boat out in there? Not anymore, because they built Popeye Park. They put a playground there. Now, not across the street, but across those bushes up higher, that home, that's where Mike Thomas's son lives. That's why Mike Thomas admitted to being the driving force. Those were the words used, the driving force behind the project. We'll just spend taxpayer money to put a playground over the boat launching area on the park. Well, it wasn't considered a park. It was considered a boat launching area, but I suppose it's a park. But it was certainly dedicated by Sam B. Hearn to the owners of the subdivision. See, because here's what it looks like now. Today, they fixed it today at the property appraiser's office. Look at that, owner information. It's blank. That's what it looked like a week ago before he altered the documents and then altered them again. and by the way, I claim that Dan Sowell altered the documents because unless he was shown by the city, hey, look, we're the city. I'm Cole Son Davis. I'm Mark Money Mover Sheldon, right? Unless they said, hey, Dan, look, here's the deed of conveyance. We own the property. Then Dan would have changed it. But he didn't change it because they don't have the deed of conveyance. The only way they can get it, by the way, is either one of two ways only: eminent domain, or every single owner in the subdivision would have to sign the deed of conveyance over to the city of Panama City Beach. And they don't want to do that. But there's no other way. You say, but Bernie, you don't know about adverse possession. Well, I'll tell you this. Call your real estate attorney friends and ask them, does adverse possession apply to a platted subdivision? Ask him that question. The platted subdivision is exempt from adverse possession. The plat is like the constitution of that land. It is the governing document, the covenants of how property is conveyed and what can happen on those properties. Nothing's higher than that. Let's say the city of Panama City Beach keeps playing around, and let's say they get sued and they go before a judge, and Cole Davis has some theory about equitable easement. I saw a case, Your Honor, in Miami. See, and they took care of this property for decades. And so the judge gave them the property. So, Your Honor, that's what we're asking for here. Guess what the judge is going to say? The judge is going to say, we can talk about that in a moment, but who's got the, who's holding the deed? Show me the deed of conveyance. Show me the chain of title. And the city is going to say, but Your Honor. And the judge is going to say, we'll talk about that stuff after I see the chain of title. This is bad. The city's claiming ownership of 3 other parks in the Diamond Head Plat. This is the Diamond Head Plat. That document right there is the constitution of how of that land, right? That is tough, man. Look at what it says. Dedicate the current Hearn and Coran, who owned all that land over there in a fee simple title, again, the highest title you can have. He dedicated the lakes and the parts of lakes and the parks and the boat launching area to and for the use and benefit to and for. See, Cole Son Davis knows this. So does Amy Myers. So does Kevin Obos. And so does Franklin Harrison, all of the same law firm, who said, hey, what about if we try to do it through a quiet deed? Why aren't you guys advising your client of the law? Hey, Mr. Franklin Harrison, why did you tell Amy Myers, the city attorney, to look into a quiet deed if we do it for public property? If we do it for, make sure you say public a lot. You know, if I know, you know. I mean, I didn't learn more about this in 2 or 3 days than in all your career. Come on. You guys are trying to skirt the law. You guys are trying to steal property from the owners of the subdivision. And you guys, the city, killed a dune lake. Lowwater Lake was a dune lake. You choked it. And now it's infested with lily pads because you said you owned it. And time had passed. People forgot. So now I'm reminding people who owns it. The city always knew. The city just lied. Well, I won't say always knew, but they knew before they spent all that money to build the park over the boat launching area. Now, who represents Lowwater, that area? Which one of the council members? Well, it's this guy. It's Jeff McConnell. Jeff McConnell is the one. And I think that's a direct quote when he was looking up at the reporters. Jeff McConnell tells the owners that you'll never get what you want because we most certainly own the parks. That's what he says. We most certainly own the parks. Now he says we don't own the. But they say they own the parks. Guess what? No, you don't. Show us the deed of conveyance. Show us the title history, the chain of title, as it's called. Now, I will say this about Jeff McConnell. I think he's upping his style. Okay, so I've been wearing hats because I'm getting a little thin on top, and I think they're cool. So I got to hand it to him there. Anyway. All right, so where are we at? WMBB still is the only one I know that still thinks that Popeye Park, forgive me, my brain is just I won't do it anymore though. I was embarrassed after Friday. So Popeye Park, and it was named, by the way, even though the park is an illegitimate park, it was named after a great man. And everybody called him Popeye. And so I'll say right now, I feel terrible because I do not want to denigrate a great man's memory. Everybody has such good things to say about him. So when I make that mistake, it's just some weird thing my brain does. But let's remember to honor him. And it's a shame that the city did this and put his great name on an illegitimate project. Let's establish that, please. That's important to me, the memory of our loved ones and our community members. All right, so what else do I need to show you? I do need to remind you of this stuff here. You know that nobody else The news isn't going to tell you this story. They're still going to try to twist it around or whatever the hell they're going to do. But they're not going to be able to succeed because Tony O'Rourke has a lawsuit, filed a whistleblower lawsuit about this. The FBI is investigating this. They're in bad trouble. Who is? Well, Jeff McConnell is. That's hit. He should stand up and tell the truth. Mayor Sheldon is. Amy Myers. Ooh, the city attorney's in bad trouble. We do you remember? We've got her notes where she acknowledged in as far back as April. You want to see? These are Amy Myers notes. April. Let's see. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, so that's not the right notes. Here's the right notes. Look, April 2019. Kelly Jenkins knew, the head of Public Works. Kathy Younce knew. Of the four, only one is the city's. Holy. So then, city attorney Amy Myers, why do you sit there and let everybody else say otherwise? That is neglect of duty. And if it's not criminal, it certainly is enough to be sanctioned by the bar, by the Florida bar. For God's sake, how could you do that? So that is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So there are many people, and I still haven't finished telling you about the bogus internal investigation that money mover Mayor Mark Sheldon that he basically ran. Man, there's so much to tell you. There's so much to tell you, but I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to give it to you in bites at a time. This is a very big deal. Today, the property appraiser has shown that he's changed it back again on the website. What does that tell you? So here's what I was going to ask you. Since the news outlets are going to try to hide it from you, please share it, like it, tag your friends if you think it. Ask your real estate friends. Is crazy? Oh no, that's going to sound like crazy Bernie. If Bernie's wrong, if he's just trying to stir the pot, all the things they say, or if I'm telling you the truth. And also, again, I can do that because I don't work for them. I used to work for one of them. They fired me for telling you the truth. And I would much rather tell you the truth and walk a tightrope with no net. It's not a business model I would recommend to you if you're, concerned about such things as, money. But if you want to support my efforts, you can do it. It's anonymous, it's easy, and you can quit at any time. It's and you can see it later if you want to. But also, I want to tell you, I opened up Facebook and I saw this. Do you know what happened 4 years ago today? 4 years ago today, I got the readers of the News Herald voted, and they voted me the best of Bay media personality. How about that? People couldn't believe that somebody was actually reporting the truth about Hector Solis and Mike Thomas and all that. And so the readers, and I got to tell you, that's a great list. Paris and Amy are two of the nicest people in local media. Those two are just wonderful people. But you know what happened the next year? Well, the next year, they didn't have a media personality category. And I asked the News Herald why. I said, why did you guys get rid of that? And you know what they told me? Because Kaz couldn't be in the running. Kaz, the editor, Mike Kaz-Gonzalez. And since, he's a media personality too, Bernie. And since he can't be in it because that would be a conflict of interest, they just decided to do away with it. So now they've created a TV media personality and a radio media personality for whatever. Keep this show out of it, right? which is fine by me because I know that I am still the reigning king of all media in Bay County, right? It's a joke. It does that stuff doesn't matter, but it is nice. I got to tell you, it is nice to know people care and believe in you. That's nice. But what's so important right now is getting the truth out. It's tough. And there's so much truth to tell. Hey, I want to see what you guys are saying. Okay, let me take a look at this. Yeah, that's right, Tim. They did. And Tim's not related to Dan Sowell, by the way. Let's see. All right, I'm looking through this audio. What about audio? Okay, the audio's on. I'm just reading through your comments. You know what I need to do, though? I need to give you sort of the rundown of today. This is what's important to remember, okay? And you can go back and screenshot these if you want to. You want to keep up on this developing story that's only being told here. All right, developer Sam B. Hearn, this is the beginning of the story, dedicated all parks in the Diamond Head plat to the owners of the subdivision in 1962. That plat alone governs all future conveyances of property. The owners of the subdivision collectively hold the deed of conveyance. They are the owners of the parks. The city of PCB and the property appraiser have slandered the deed held by the owners in the subdivision. The city of PCB in 2019 built the Popeye Park playground over the dedicated boat launching area that's specifically mentioned and developed, established in the plat, which was also dedicated to the owners of the subdivision. It's a pretty big deal, don't you think? The city of PCB is also slandering the title of 3 other parks within the platted subdivision. The deed of conveyance for each lot is held still by the owners of the subdivision. And finally, the city of PCB is holding a wild deed for 2 other lots that are residential lots that I haven't even really been able to tell you about yet. They got these lots from the county. The county declared, that's the language in the resolution, declared that these 2 private lots, lots 1 and 2, on block 4 of the Diamond Head plat, those 2 lots, the county said were surplus. They declared people's private property to be surplus, and they wrote what's known as a reverter deed to the city of Panama City Beach and said, here, for $10, this is all yours. As long as you do make it a public piece of property available to the public for public. And if you don't, then we get it back. It reverts back to the county. That's why it's called a reverter deed. But guess what? It's a wild deed because the county has told me in an email, in case you're wondering, they don't have any record of ownership of that. Of course they don't. The ownership is located in the plat. And the owners are the owners of in the subdivision. So those are the most important points. And I'll continue to bring you the rest of this really, really shocking story. I mean, you say, yeah, Bernie, they do this kind of stuff all the time. I agree. But when we have the documents to prove it, that's a different story now, right? That's not just we all kind of know. That's we caught them. We caught them. There's a whistleblower lawsuit. The FBI is also on their tail. So this is not something they're going to be able to wiggle out of. I just don't think it is. All right, that's going to wrap it up. I hope that you'll support my efforts. Thank you so much for being with me, and I've got a lot more for you coming up.